A key witness in the Diddy trial has gone missing. This is super concerning because she is crucial for the case against one of the biggest names in music. She was actually going under a pseudonym like 3 other witnesses in the case, but she decided to waive that right and reveal her identity in her testimony. But now she's MIA. The federal prosecutors don't know where she is, her lawyers don't know where she is, and the prosecutors are using her testimony in the opening statement on May 12th. That's not that far away. For now, she's known as Victim 3, and she was subpoenaed, which means that she is required to be there.
Determined to be Christina Coram, KK, who Diddy talks about a lot as his right-hand woman, if you will, and that they were discussing her, and then that led to her being served a drink where then she started to feel woozy, and then Mr. Combs her with an inanimate object, and then actually directed another gentleman to her while he watched and pleasured himself.
So it turns out Allie Carter wasn't just spilling all the tea on Diddy and his crew's dirty little secrets over the years. She was actually subpoenaed to be a key witness in his trial. Yup, her name was right there on the list to testify against him in court. But here's where it gets real shady. The moment the trial kicked off, Ali just vanished into thin air. No one, and I mean no one, not even her own family or her lawyers, had a clue where she went. Things got even messier when a voice note Ali had sent to one of her close friends popped up just one day before the trial started.
She was able to escape eventually and ran out into the streets yelling and screaming, and a neighbor heard her because this happened in a quiet suburban neighborhood, if you will.
So there's a witness?
Yes, we have a witness because as she's running out the house yelling, a neighbor saw her and invited her into the home.
Okay.
And it's the neighbor who then called the police, and the police did come out at that time. They also stated that they heard cars screeching, and the neighbor went outside and saw a black SUV leaving the premises very quickly. And by the time the police arrived, of course, he was no longer there.
Well, was the neighbor able to identify who it was?
The neighbor wasn't, only that they saw the car leaving, and
Okay.
they only described the truck. They could not tell who was inside, but she told the neighbor at the time who it was and why they were leaving so abruptly.
And let me tell you, the stuff in that recording is beyond disturbing. In the message, Ali talks about a certain woman who had been protecting Diddy all this time, helping him dodge accountability for everything he was accused of doing. That woman is none other than Christina Coram. Now, Diddy had actually name-dropped Christina a few times before he got locked up. For example, in a 2021 Facebook post, he proudly introduced her like this: "Meet Christina Coram, Chief of Staff at Combs Enterprises. Christina, aka KK, keeps everything in my life and business running. She's been my right hand for the last 8 years and has consistently proven to execute and get things done. Don't know how I'd function without her." Of course, back then, nobody suspected a thing. Nobody knew what he was really hiding behind the scenes, so nobody paid much attention. But now, after several lawsuits have come out mentioning Christina as Diddy's alleged accomplice, things are looking real different. And just days ago, Christina finally broke her silence and dropped a statement. For months now, Christina Coram has been crying out loud, claiming she's innocent. She finally spoke up, dropping a statement where she called out the wave of shocking accusations against her, tied to her ex-boss, Diddy.
Mr. Combs her with an inanimate object, and then actually directed another gentleman to her while he watched and pleasured himself. So she was able to escape eventually and ran out into the streets yelling and screaming, and a neighbor heard her because this happened in a quiet suburban neighborhood, if you will.
So there's a witness?
Yes, we have a witness. We also have a police report, and that was made in 2018, that she, when she initially filed the police report, she didn't name Diddy out of fear of retaliation, and more importantly, fear that no one would believe her.
Right.
So she then updated that report, and we've been working with law enforcement to have them actually look into that report. Hearing her tell this story, her voice was trembling, she was in tears. I actually had to stop her at one point and tell her, take a second, because I can tell, even having her tell me this story, reliving it, was extremely painful. It was like it happened yesterday. I can tell she's very traumatized by what happened to her.
Christina said these so-called lies are straight up wrecking her life and tearing apart her family's peace. She insisted she never, ever helped Diddy hurt anyone, and said she couldn't even imagine being accused of standing by while any of those things went down. She said the allegations are beyond upsetting, disturbing, and unthinkable. She even tried to show sympathy, saying her heart goes out to all the victims of sexual assault. Christina swore she's certain the truth will clear her name. But guess what? Nobody's buying it. And honestly, why would they? Like I mentioned before, her name pops up in way more lawsuits than I could possibly squeeze into one video. But trust me, we're still gonna break some of them down because the pattern is way too clear to ignore. Without Christina, Diddy would have been exposed a long time ago. She was the one laying down the groundwork behind the scenes, keeping things running smooth so he could pull off everything he did without blinking twice. And now, looking back at that old Facebook post where Diddy said he couldn't even function without her, makes perfect sense now, doesn't it? She wasn't just important, she was critical to the whole shady operation. The first major red flag popped up when Lil Rod dragged her name into his explosive lawsuit against Diddy. And the way he described her, he didn't hold back. Lil Rod straight up called her the Ghislaine Maxwell to Diddy's mess. He said when Diddy allegedly started crossing lines and getting all over him, he went to Christina thinking she was one of the few good people around. But nah, Christina shut him down cold and said, and this is a direct quote, "You know Sean will be Sean." That hit different, didn't it? She brushed it off like it was nothing. That's how deep she was in this whole thing. Christina didn't just look the other way. She straight up tried to make Diddy's behavior sound like it was all harmless fun.
You get pressured, attacked, stalked, and hunted down for your own information. You get abused and re-victimized again by people who wanted to argue a back and forth this week like that f***ing mattered. Okay, you had Stu Peters and Timothy Charles Homestead going back and forth, and nobody has even bothered. Not that I give a damn, and not that I understand that you guys are gonna be that selfish, but nobody has bothered to apologize for all the hell that has happened. But you guys were arguing back and forth, and in that meantime, we lost our home. You don't believe me? Here you go. What once was a full house, we were still paying rent on our house. What we were doing this whole time was moving everything because our house is gone. Our house is gone. This is the speaking out. What was our beautiful 3-bedroom acre home on 21225 Standing Rock Avenue, because everybody has the address, because organizations that were attached to Marks, Sawyer, and many other organizations decided to put out the address, my license plate to one of my cars, and many other of my. So here you go. You can have it, right? Because this is what happens when you speak out. This is what happens when you tell all the truth. This is what happens when you decided to stand up for the children, and when you understand that survivors don't just get to do a seminar, and when you understand that survivors don't just get to just be and then show up somewhere and talk and monetize everything that they're saying. When you realize that that's bullshit, then you will understand. Look at the tactics and pay attention. Pay attention. I'm still not asking you for a damn thing but to wake up. I'm not asking you for a damn thing but just to get outside. I don't give a damn about money, numbers on my platforms. You can have all of it. You took everything. The only thing that I give a shit about right now is the fact that there is a baby in the way. There's babies in the way. There are people that I love that I can't get out of the way. What am I supposed to do when the people in the authority that you're supposed to go to, you can't go to them?
According to Lil Rod, when Diddy started getting way too hands-on, Christina brushed it off, saying it was just friendly horseplay, and that was Diddy's twisted way of showing he likes you. But it gets wilder. Lil Rod also exposed how Christina was running Diddy's entire personal life like a tight ship. She was the one paying the sex workers, keeping everything discreet. And on top of that, She made sure every employee carried a fanny pack loaded with all kinds of banned substances, including CO, GHB, and even N2C. That's next level shady. But Christina's name didn't just pop up in one case. Oh no, there's more. In another lawsuit, Phil Pines, who used to be one of Diddy's senior execs, came forward accusing Diddy of straight-up battery and emotional torment. And who do you think was there making sure no one found out? You guessed it. Christina, playing cleanup crew like always. Phil told a horrifying story where he saw Diddy kick a woman to the ground right outside his house. Diddy allegedly told the woman, "I told you I was crazy," before stomping her in the stomach. Then, as if that wasn't sick enough, he demanded she strip off her sweatshirt, forcing her to go topless in front of everyone. Phil was left shaken to his core. He watched the whole thing go down, helpless. But when he tried to speak up, Christina shut him down, cold and heartless. She told him to keep his mouth shut or else there'd be serious consequences. But Phil says that wasn't even the worst of it. He claims Christina helped Diddy set up what he called Wild King Nights. And these parties, they were full-on freak fests that went on for days, packed with multiple men and women, all while Christina helped keep everything on the low. Christina wasn't just helping behind the scenes. She was right at the center of organizing these wild, anything-goes parties. Phil Pines revealed that she handled everything from picking the secret spots to choosing who would get an invite.
Key witness in the Diddy trial has gone missing. This is super concerning because she is crucial for the case against one of the biggest names in music. She was actually going under a pseudonym like 3 other witnesses in the case, but she decided to waive that right and reveal her identity in her testimony. But now she's MIA. The federal prosecutors don't know where she is, her lawyers don't know where she is, and the prosecutors are using her testimony in the opening statement on May 12th. That's not that far away. For now, she's known as Victim 3, and she was subpoenaed, which means that she is required to be there. This all comes as the trial is finally underway this week. The jury will be selected by the end of the day. That's not that interesting. They're all going to remain anonymous. What is interesting is the list of celebrities who were shown to potential jurors to see if they knew them. Those names included Michael B. Jordan, Mike Myers, and Kanye West. None of whom are actually implicated in the...
And when Diddy wanted to throw one of his infamous Wild King Nights, Christina went into overdrive, scrambling to set up hotel suites stacked with baby oil, lube, male enhancement pills, Plan B, candles, mood lighting, you name it. She even made sure all kinds of adult toys were ready to go. She handled it all, no questions asked. But that's not where her name stops popping up. In fact, Christina got dragged into yet another lawsuit. This one from a woman in San Francisco who filed her case just last October. This lawsuit was so explosive, it finally forced Christina to put out that statement where she denied everything. But let's break down what the woman claimed. According to the lawsuit, the woman said she met Diddy over FaceTime back in 2018. It all started when she met a man outside a bar who wanted to show off by FaceTiming Diddy, like he was flexing his celebrity connections. But the woman wasn't impressed at all. She clapped back during the call saying Diddy was behind Tupac's death. Diddy overheard it and lost it. He told her she was gonna pay for saying that about him. And that's when things took a real dark turn. Days later, the same man from the club tricked her into coming over to his place, claiming he needed help with his cancer medication. When she got there, it was a setup. Diddy, Christina, and Diddy's crew were all waiting for her. And what they did was beyond disturbing. Diddy allegedly held a knife to her face and threatened to give her a Glasgow smile. For anyone who doesn't know, that's when someone slices both sides of your mouth. Pure horror movie stuff. The woman said the nightmare only got worse from there. She claimed Diddy attacked her using a TV remote. Yeah, you heard that right. A remote. Then, he allegedly ordered another man who was there to assault her while he sat back and watched, pleasuring himself the whole time. But it didn't stop with just them. She said 4 more of Diddy's people took turns assaulting her, and through it all, Christina just stood by, watching like it was business as usual, waiting until they were done so she could clean up the mess. And if that wasn't horrifying enough, after they finished, Christina allegedly handed the woman a mystery pill and forced her to swallow it. And then, they started assaulting her all over again. It's beyond chilling. Somehow, the woman managed to escape in the middle of the chaos. She ran out of the house, screaming for help until a neighbor finally took her in and called the police. But even after making a full police report, nothing happened. Why? According to her, it was because Diddy had the local cops in his pocket. This was a pattern. Diddy would silence victims with payoffs, threats, or both. That's why it took someone like Cassie, with her fame and platform, to finally shake things up and force the world to pay attention. And guess what? The allegations didn't stop there. Fast forward to this year, and yet another lawsuit came crashing down, and Christina's name was right in the middle of it again. This time, it was from an up-and-coming artist named Seven Gel. She said she entered into what was supposed to be a mentorship with Diddy, hoping for guidance in the industry. But instead, she claimed Diddy used that mentorship as a cover while he assaulted her over and over. In the lawsuit, she described the first time it happened. She said Diddy forcibly made her perform on him. No hesitation, no care, just straight-up abuse of power. The lawsuit made it crystal clear everything went down without her consent. And even after she flat-out refused, Diddy still forced her into those acts. While all this chaos was unfolding, one name kept popping up over and over again: Ali Carter. She's been dropping bombshells about Diddy's shady behavior for a hot minute now, and everything these victims are accusing him of, Ali had already warned the world about it. But now, Ali's gone missing, and the word on the street is that she was supposed to be a key witness in Diddy's upcoming trial. Just days before she vanished, Ali went live on social media, sobbing and panicking, telling the world she feared for her life and her family's safety. She claimed that armed men broke into her home, flipped everything upside down, and were sent there with the intent to silence her. For good, Ali didn't hold back. She straight up called out some names she believed were behind the attack, saying they leaked her address and sent hired goons after her. This wasn't just paranoia. This was real, and she was desperate for people to listen. Now, here's where it gets even more suspicious. One of the key witnesses set to testify against Diddy has also mysteriously vanished, and a lot of people believe that witness is none other than Ali herself. The only thing the public knows right now is that the missing witness is listed as Victim 3, but when you line up the timeline, Ali disappeared right when this witness went missing. It's got everyone connecting the dots. It's looking like Ali might have been the one person who could blow this whole thing wide open. And now she's just gone without a trace. People are starting to connect the dots, and let's just say, the math is definitely mathin'. And now, to crank the drama up even more, word is spreading that prosecutors might be holding a voice note Ali sent to one of her close friends. In this recording, she reportedly dropped even more dirt on Christina's role in Diddy's dark deeds. If this is true, this could finally be the nail in the coffin that gets Christina officially charged, not just named in lawsuits, but actually facing real charges. Right now, she's already listed as a defendant in multiple lawsuits, but with this alleged voice note in the mix, the heat on her is about to explode. People online are going crazy with their own theories. One person wrote, Ali Carter. No way, she's gotta show up. I just know it. Another chimed in, what? What do you mean she's missing? This is insane. I just hope she's safe and alive. And now I gotta ask y'all, what's your take on this whole mess? Do you think Ali's voice note is gonna finally bring Christina down once and for all? And do you believe the law's finally about to catch up with her? Hit up that comment section and tell me what's on your mind. Don't forget to like this video. If you're into all this tea, hit that subscribe button for more, and share it with your crew who love the messy truth. Drop a comment below, and I'll see you in the next one. Trust me, it's gonna be even messier.